The history of ancient settlements in what is now the United States is a tapestry of thriving civilizations, mysterious disappearances, and enduring legacies. Long before European explorers like Christopher Columbus arrived in 1492, the land was already shaped by sophisticated indigenous cultures that built monumental cities, only to abandon them under circumstances that still puzzle historians and archaeologists today. From the towering adobe structures of Taos Pueblo to the cliffside dwellings of Mesa Verde, these sites offer glimpses into America's forgotten past. One of the most remarkable surviving settlements is Taos Pueblo in northern New Mexico, continuously inhabited for over 1,000 years. Its multi-story adobe buildings, some reaching 5 stories high, were constructed using clay, straw, and water, with walls up to 3 feet thick. The Pueblo Revolt of 1680, which temporarily expelled Spanish colonizers, was partly organized here. Today, around 150 people still live within its historic walls, governed by a council that blends traditional and modern legal systems. The community maintains ancestral practices, with no modern plumbing or electricity in the oldest buildings, preserving the adobe using time-honored methods. In stark contrast, Bodie, California, stands as a well-preserved ghost town, frozen in time after its gold rush boom. Founded in 1859 after prospector William S. Bodie struck gold, the town swelled to 10,000 residents at its peak, infamous for its lawlessness, saloons, and violent shootouts. A resident once described it as a sea of sin, lashed by the tempests of lust and passion. Yet, as the gold dwindled, so did the population, leaving behind a town preserved in arrested decay, maintained but not restored, offering a haunting window into the Wild West's chaotic past. Similarly, Bannack, Montana, tells a tale of frontier violence and vigilante justice. Once Montana's first territorial capital, this gold rush town saw its sheriff, Henry Plummer, secretly lead a gang responsible for stagecoach robberies and murders. When vigilantes uncovered his crimes, they hanged him and dozens of suspected outlaws, some likely innocent, without trial. Today, Bannack's weathered buildings remain as a stark reminder of the lawlessness that defined the era. Further south, Montezuma Castle, a misnamed cliff dwelling in Arizona, showcases the ingenuity of the Sinagua people. Built around 1100 AD, this 5-story, 20-room structure was carved into a limestone cliff 90 feet above the ground. Early settlers mistakenly linked it to the Aztecs, but the Sinagua had abandoned it centuries before Montezuma's reign. Nearby, Walnut Canyon holds over 300 Sinagua cliff dwellings, strategically placed under limestone ledges for insulation and protection. These people farmed corn, beans, and squash on the canyon rim while relying on Walnut Creek below, vanishing by 1250 AD for reasons still debated. The Cahokia Mounds in Illinois represent the remnants of North America's largest pre-Columbian city. Built by the Mississippian culture around 1050 AD, Cahokia's population rivaled European cities of its time, with enormous earthen mounds, plazas, and a sophisticated society. Yet, by 1400, it was abandoned, possibly due to environmental strain or social upheaval. The site's name comes from the Cahokia tribe, who lived there centuries later but had no direct connection to its original builders. In the southwest, Gila cliff dwellings in New Mexico offer another mystery. Built by the Mogollon people in the 1280s, these 40-room caves were abandoned within decades. Were they fleeing drought, conflict, or spiritual unrest? Similarly, Hovenweep National Monument, straddling Utah and Colorado, features enigmatic stone towers built by ancestral Puebloans between 1150 and 1300 AD. Their name, meaning deserted valley in Ute, reflects the site's eerie silence after its sudden depopulation. The Cliff Palace in Mesa Verde, Colorado, stands as North America's largest cliff dwelling, housing 100 to 120 people between 1190 and 1260 CE. Its sandstone and timber construction, including ceremonial kivas, speaks to a highly organized society. Yet, by 1300, the ancestral Puebloans vanished, likely due to prolonged drought. Meanwhile, Bandelier National Monument in New Mexico preserves over 1,000 dwellings carved into volcanic cliffs between the 12th and 16th centuries. Spanish records from the 1540s suggest depopulation from drought, yet the descendants of these builders still live in nearby pueblos, collaborating with the National Park Service to protect their ancestral lands. The mining boom and bust cycle left its own scars. Rhyolite, Nevada, a gold rush town near Death Valley, boomed in the early 1900s, only to collapse when mines closed. Today, its ruins include the eerie Bottle House, built from 50,000 beer and liquor bottles. St. Elmo, Colorado, met a similar fate after the silver crash of 1893, with most residents boarding the last train out in 1922. Some sites, like Centralia, Pennsylvania, met darker ends. A coal mine fire ignited in 1962 still burns underground, forcing nearly all residents to flee toxic gases and collapsing streets. A handful stubbornly remain, living in a ghost town slowly consumed by flames. Yet not all stories end in abandonment. Acoma Pueblo, or Sky City, in New Mexico, has been continuously inhabited for over 2,000 years, perched atop a 367-foot mesa. Its people resisted Spanish conquest, enduring violence and forced labor, yet their culture endures. Similarly, Old Orabe in Arizona, founded around 1100 AD, remains the oldest Hopi village, still home to a small community preserving ancient traditions. From sacred Hawaiian refuges like Puhonua o Hono now to the tragic leper colony of Kalaupapa, these sites weave a complex narrative of resilience and loss. They remind us that America's history stretches far beyond European arrival, filled with civilizations that thrived, vanished, and sometimes endured against all odds. Their ruins whisper secrets we are still striving to understand, offering a haunting yet profound connection to the past. To conclude, the ancient settlements and ghost towns scattered across the United States stand as silent witnesses to the rise and fall of civilizations, the relentless pursuit of wealth, and the enduring spirit of human resilience. From the 1,000-year-old adobe walls of Taos Pueblo to the crumbling mines of Bodie, these sites tell stories of innovation, survival, and, often, abrupt abandonment. Some places, like the cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde and the towering mounds of Cahokia, remind us of sophisticated societies that thrived long before European contact, only to vanish under mysterious circumstances. Others, such as the lawless ruins of Bannack and the skeletal remains of Rhyolite, speak to the fleeting nature of boomtowns built on gold and greed. And then there are the enduring communities, Acoma Pueblo, Old Orabe, where traditions persist despite centuries of upheaval. These sites are more than relics of the past. They are lessons in adaptation, warning against exploitation, and testaments to the deep connection between people and land. Whether preserved as national monuments or left to decay in remote deserts, they challenge us to remember the voices that came before. Voices that still echo in the windswept cliffs, abandoned saloons, and sacred plazas of America's forgotten past. In exploring these places, we do not just uncover history. We confront the impermanence of human endeavors and the enduring legacy of those who shaped this land long before it bore the name America. Their stories, etched in stone and memory, urge us to listen, learn, and perhaps find wisdom in the ruins.